You ask yourself, does my business need a website? Technology has changed and come a long way in the last 10 years. Since nowadays customers find businesses differently than they did in the past. Customers used to let their fingers do the walking. That's no longer the case. Now, customers use search engines to find what they're looking for. Search engines don't list yellow page ads, they list websites. Marketing 101, if you have a business or a service, you go to where your customers are. Less of your customers are now on the yellow pages and more of them are in the search engines. So the only way to compete and stay on top is to go where your customers are. Meaning you must have a website if you ever expect to be found where your customers are migrating towards, which is search engines. Now, I'm going to offer you some really quick tips on getting your website up and running quickly and for cheap. First off, purchase your domain name. Example, www.mychosensite.com. Buy the domain for several years, at least 2, and get at least the .com and the .net. Reason being, you want to preserve your brand identity. If you buy the .com, someone else buys the .net, then there's confusion. If you own both of them, no problem. Kind of like buying up your block. Nobody else can come around. And that's for your protection. I also recommend buying 2 domain names. One domain name would be your business name, frankandsons.com. The second domain name I would buy would be a domain name relevant to the products and services that you provide. So if Frank and Sons are plumbers and they live in Augusta, Georgia, I would look for a name similar to Augusta, Georgia residentialplumbers.com. And of course you buy the .com and the .net. Reason being is when you're doing promotions online, putting your service or product in the domain name gives you much more relevancy in the search engines, and there's a higher probability of you being found. Next, you'll want to purchase web hosting. Now, what web hosting is, this is a service that houses your website and email, very similar to your apartment or your home or your office building. I recommend a great service at www.tngrapixx.com/hosting. That's www.tngrapixx.com/hosting. Hosting can be obtained for as little as $7 a month. If you purchase yearly, then you will save yourself probably an extra month. However, whatever fits within your budget. The important thing to remember is that you will get hosting companies that try to sell you on the $100 to $200 a month packages. And if you are a newer business or just getting a website and you don't have millions and millions of hits and traffic each month, shared hosting is fine. And I would also go with a hosting company that allows you to have, for whatever price you pay, unlimited websites, unlimited emails, and unlimited bandwidth. Next, you'll want to set up your own emails at your domain. Example, frankandsons.com, or whatever your chosen domain is. Your web host provides detailed instructions on doing this. It's relatively simple, but I recommend setting up emails for all employees and also set up a contact and a support email as well. Reason being, if you're going to appear professional, then you need to appear professional. If you give someone a Bell South or a Yahoo or a Gmail, although Gmail some people are using for business email and it's a great service, you don't want to look like a normal mom and pop shop. You want to say, hey, email me at frankandsons.com, and you appear much more professional. Next, you create your site or hire a designer. Now, you do not have to pay thousands of dollars for a website, big or small. If you don't create it yourself, then have someone that knows what they're doing create you a website, and make sure they use best practices. There are certain strategies that across the board work best. Your web designer should know that. I will actually be putting together a video on that relatively soon. And your website should also be pre-configured for search engine optimization. Since the reason that people have websites is to show up in the search engines and people to find them, you want your website to be pre-configured for search engine optimization. That doesn't mean you're going to show up number one. It means if you take the right approaches, then you can get up there on that first page of the search engines. Your website should also be easy for you to update. You don't want to have to hunt down your web designer in Costa Rica on vacation when you have a special sale you decided to run tomorrow and they have no internet access. So you want to have full control, and you also want your website to be scalable, meaning you can build it up as big as you want to be. Lastly, you'll want to promote your website. Promote to existing customers via email if you have that, direct mail, family, friends, other businesses. Maybe work a self-promotion among a bunch of businesses. Your local chamber of commerce. Put it on your business cards, business events, flyers, stickers. There are plenty of ways to promote your website or any business from a guerrilla marketing standpoint. I actually recommend the book Guerrilla Marketing from J. Conrad Levinson. And in the future, there will be videos that will show basic strategies to promote your website, whether you're strictly online and local or whether you have a global website.